Lalitphan, Lalitphan. I'm from Willoughby class with Professor Darlene and Professor John. Um, this is my final project, and this is my first trial of my project. You can relate to passes around, but please be careful with her skirt, and she's 60. Okay. Well, I have been studying. Actually, my final project I got an inspiration from my research paper. My research paper is about the unheeded warning of the potential futures that we may lead to. Well, I have been studying on 3 mythical places that only exist in books, and surprisingly, despite the fact that they came from a different background, they share the same directions of implications, which is the authors have an intention to warn us of the future that we only depend on human intellectuals, and they abandon the spiritual need in their mind that would lead them to miserable lives. So, the criteria that I choose for the criteria that I use for choosing my mythical places is that they are all the fantasy places that convey the ideal place people would like to live in, but later would turns out to be a very hostile place. So, okay, let's talk about the implication that I got from the books, from the 3 places. It would like to convey the idea that if we are people now living in the world that we have an enjoyment of creating new things. We keep inventing new knowledge and new technology to ease our lives so that we can have a better living. However, this kind of enjoyment also has some downsides. First of all, it consumes a lot of natural resources, and I wonder if I wonder if one day this kind of inventions go further and they use up all the natural material things in the world, what would be the next invention they're gonna use, and what kind of life would be without natural resources? And secondly, this kind of enjoyment also turns humans into a greedy creature, because when they try to invent inventions that to satisfy one person, a human need, that will lead to another bigger need. So then it's become an endless need, and people will live a life with meaningless happiness. So so this is my physical model, more like to okay, so for all the implications that I have learned, it's inspired me to create a physical model to draw attention from people I would like to share this kind of idea to warn people to know that there is with every time I try to be more wise, to be wiser, to be more intellectual, we also have the spirituality that we are already leave it behind. So my approach is to create a physical model that could portray it is a floating city that portray the desperations of the world that holding by the peak of intellectual development, but leaving people in the spiritual death. So with all the implication I apply in my model as the nails symbolized human interventions, and I intentionally painted into rustic colors so that it can portray how it's drained organic life and the feeling of being lively. And also I paint the sphere, the foam balls into by gold color because I try to portray the multiplicity of prosperity. I mean, like people nowadays may try to pursue their career in order to earn more money, to buy a bigger house, to have more money, to be richer. But these kind of things are flow. It's not eternal. It's gonna be when they die, they cannot even take one penny with them when they die. So I think that this is how I portray the melting gold color that flooding in the city. And for I chose the sphere shape and also the rectangle wings. It is my imagination that how these people will create their own city. I believe that they try to use sphere as their land because they might believe they are so in love with philosophy and the intellectuals. They might believe in absolute truth. The sphere is the absolute form of among all the forms. So I think sphere is represent the most how they believe in their lives. And for the wing, I intentionally use this material so that it can show the reflections of itself. Every time these people who live in this city, when they look down, they don't see the people on the earth. They only see the reflections of themselves. So they also really loving themselves. And this also serves to be a wing for the city, so that the city can be flowed, and so that these people on the city can feel like they are superior than people on the earth. Well, and also the sky that I paint to become my background is just to serve to make it look like floating, but I intentionally like add some of my emotions. It's more like the color of it, so I adjust the color to express my feeling about this idea. So lastly, I would like to say that this is more like I really want to share my idea of not to skip the need of the spiritual in everyone's mind, but I have no intention to leave our civilization when we have been built before. But it's just that when we try to lead our future, we have to keep that in mind too.